This is for Year 11 methods. We're going to look at exercise 2b, question number 2. So the question states that we're trying to sketch the graph of a line with a gradient of 1. Okay, now this is an open question. The reason being you can sketch many lines with a gradient of 1. For example, you can have y equals x that has a gradient of 1, y equals x plus 1, y equals x plus 100, or y equals x minus 50, etc, etc. All these lines have a gradient of 1 because the gradient in y equals mx plus c form is the coefficient of the x, so in this case it's 1. Now I don't know about you, but I simply probably want to sketch the simplest graph possible, which is y equals x. So we know y equals x looks like this. It's at a 45-degree angle to the axis, and it crosses the origin, and the point here will be 1, 1, and 2, 2, etc. Because when whatever your y value is, that's also your x value. So 3, 3, etc. Now you could possibly draw another line. You could draw, so this is the line y equals x. I could draw y equals x plus 1. It just means it's a similar line with the same gradient, except the y-intercept's at 1. So instead of having a y-intercept at 0, you get y-intercept at 1, and it will look something like this. And your x-intercept would be -1, like that. So as you can see, both lines have the same gradient. So the gradient basically means the slope. Okay, it doesn't tell you what the y-intercept is, so you can choose whatever y-intercept you want. However, the slope is always going to be the same. Okay. Now let's go to question 7 from exercise 2c. It says for the straight line has a y-intercept of 6 and passes through the coordinates 1, 8. We want to find the gradient. Okay. Now remember, the gradient is given by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now you might be confused. We've got one point. Where's the other point? Well, we can use this because y-intercept. What does y-intercept mean in terms of coordinates? Well, y-intercept means whenever x is 0, y is 6. Okay, since we have two coordinates, we can use the formula to work out the gradient. So we'll go 8 minus 6 divided by 1 minus 0. 8 minus 6 is 2 over 1, which is just 2. Okay. Now we want to find the equation of the line. Okay. I've got my gradient. Remember y equals mx plus c. My m is 2. We're trying to work out our c. So I sub in either one of the points. Now, in this case, I don't even need to sub in because I know my y-intercept is 6. So just instead of needing to sub in, all I need to do is just go 6 like that, because I already know the y-intercept 6. Now, I know I'll get a few questions as in, what if I do sub in? How do I do it? That's all you have to do. You know y equals 2x plus c, so you can sub in a point. I'll sub in 1, 8 just so I can show you can still get the same answer. So when y is 8, x equals 2. X equals 1, sorry. And then you rearrange. So c would equal 8 minus 2, which is 6. You can see that you still get the same answer. But I've just realized here that I've already got the y-intercept, so I don't need to necessarily solve for the y-intercept or solve for the c value. So hopefully that helps.